Today is June 12th, 2018, and the workshop agenda setting meeting is called to order. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Black,
Present.
Vice Mayor Weinstein.
Here.
Commissioner Hodges.
Here.
Commissioner Oakley.
Here.
Commissioner Douther.
Present.
All right, the first item we have here is the local development on state roadway with a traffic impact study from Robert Esposito.
Madam Chair and members of the board, staff has put together the anticipated workshop agenda for the 26th of June, pursuant to the discussion that the board had about having a representative from FDOT to come speak about traffic impacts and traffic studies. We've been able to secure Mr. Esposito to be able to speak to those issues, as well as our planning and zoning director will talk about local development in our community. Followed by that presentations, we have the contractual presentation that is required from Old Salts Fishing Foundation as it results to the event King of the Beach. Our Parks and Recreation, our recreation director has worked with them to secure the information necessary to be able to fulfill the contractual obligation. So that's an item that we need to have on the workshop here on the 26th. Also, it's item C is the Seafood Festival, just a recap of the discussions that we've had concerning the Seafood Festival and an opportunity for the board to discuss how we would like to look at the Seafood Festival and then answer any questions that you may have associated with the event. We're going to have representatives from the Seafood Festival. Ms. Sunny Flynn will be here to share a presentation with the board and then get into more details about the event and the intricacies and nuances that have changed from previous events. It has been requested by the board in previous meetings about presentations from staff on outflow maintenance as well as our pocket parks maintenance. Our public works director will be able to provide an update to the board on those two items. And then item F is the discussion with the board about the possibility of securing a fire rescue rapid response vehicle similar to that of an F-250 that will allow for us to be able to respond to our medical calls and not have to utilize our aerial apparatus to run those calls. But we wanted to have a more substantive discussion with the board with regards to that service and also what the future of fire service holds for us with our partnerships with the Reddington community. So those are the items that staff has identified and would like for the board to consider for the June 26th workshop of the board.
For the fire department thing for the vehicle, can there be some discussion regarding the Reddingtons need to start increasing? You know, if we purchase a new vehicle, they definitely benefit. And they've gotten a new fire station. They've had another new truck before we bought the ladder truck. Now we got the ladder truck, and their contract has not been increased over the years, if any at all. So that needs to be part of this discussion as well, I believe.
We can certainly bring that as part of the discussion to the board at the meeting on the 26th, what the contract calls for, and then the cost for services, et cetera.
I have a couple things to add.
All right, go ahead.
We talked a few months ago about the special events permit. I think we need to revisit that. And in the ordinance of it, I guess you told me that the city did not have to fill one out. Well, I want to see that we can take that out and make the city just as responsible as anybody else that comes into the city and has an event. And with all of the paperwork that shows that they've talked to the police and the fire department, it's gone through all the departments here. So we're held under the same scrutiny that we would hold any other event.
We certainly on the next and I apologize for not providing the agendas for the next couple of meetings because we have actually planned out that, and if I'm not mistaken, the first workshop in July is when we're going to bring back the special events permitting process, so that can be something that can be discussed as it relates to the internal communications and the discussions that happen. But I can assure you when staff goes through that events process that we're coordinating, there's a lot more internal conversations and discussions on the staff side. It's just that we don't fill out the application per se, but we can do that to satisfy the desires of the board. That's something that administratively we can be able to do fairly quickly and easily.
Okay, and then the community value survey?
The community value survey, I will be presenting that to the board tomorrow, and then we're going to be publicizing that survey on the website. But if it is the desires of the board, I can also bring that back to another board meeting to present it to the community. But you will get to see the community value survey this week.
Okay, great. Parking standards. And where I'm coming from that one is in the minutes of the March 27th meeting. We have a lot of the parking lots in town, including our own, do not come to code with the standards that were set by the ordinances, and we had talked about addressing that in here. So, and that was from March 27th, so.
That is actually an item that we're going to be talking with the board about our capital improvements plan as part of the budget process, because what we would like to do is systematically address our parking lots and our beach access points. So that's something that we will discuss as part of the capital budget process with the board.
So that'll be this week, like
Yes.
Thursday or whatever?
Yep, Wednesday or Thursday. Yep, I believe it's Thursday.
So will we get a list of all the capital improvements then?
You'll get a list of all the capital improvements that have been offered or have been submitted by departments thus far. And then by charter, I have to provide you a 5-year capital improvements plan by July 1. So you'll get the entire capital improvements plan. What I'm asking for the departments is, first, we're identifying funding, and then we're also providing a brief description of what the capital project consists of. So we're really finalizing the components of that capital budget as well as the operational budget, and be able to provide that to the board after our budget discussions starting this week.
And the communicator, we've talked about that several times, and it just seems to come here and then die off.
The publication, the communicator, we've had initial conversations with the entity that used to produce that. Right now, the priority was to get that individual on board for the public information specialist to assist on attacking the website, and then that would be a litany of other job duties and responsibilities, because with the city having somebody that's dedicated to put out public information, we can definitely make sure that the information that we want is communicated in a form and a fashion that's consistent. Now, if we look to actually secure a print media entity to assist, print media is very expensive, and there's other alternatives that we can look at, a hybrid system to effectively accomplish the same thing. But we wanted to get the person on board who starts on Monday, and then from that point develop a communication and a marketing strategy consistent with the strategic planning goals that the board had at our retreat in April. We want to make sure that we're on the same page. So we didn't want to get out too far in front of it, making sure we got the right people in place, and then we can focus the staff efforts on addressing that.
That's all I have.
Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
No? It is 5:55 and the meeting is now adjourned.